This is Basketball Infinite. Make sure to like and subscribe and ring that bell for notifications, baby. Alright, today in this video, we are going to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by the stud muffin Colin Sexton. Sexton is an absolute phenomenal offensive player. He has athleticism, he has leadership, and he has that it factor where he wants to win. And in this game against the Atlanta Hawks, it was very interesting because I recently started betting on games and I saw that the Cavs were down by a 7.5 point spread, and I thought that was an easy pick. Even though they had lost their last game, the stud muffin Jarrett Allen had a holy macaroni of a performance with 26 points and 17 rebounds, and the way the energy was going, I thought the Cavs were going to do absolutely phenomenal this game, and I was not proven wrong. But what is the state of the Cleveland Cavaliers? Because they are a very interesting team. They have a young star now, but they're still in a bit of a transition mode, and they are trying to figure out all the pieces on their roster. But here we have the Cavs down by 3, and Colin Sexton makes a clutch shot. Then you're going to see the play of the game here. Down 1, 7 seconds left, gives the ball to Lamar Stevens, and holy macaroni, he gets a wide open dunk to put his Cavs team ahead. Trae Young can do absolutely nothing to stop the positive force of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Cavs get their first win after losing 10 games straight. Let's take a look at the roster. Colin Sexton, stud muffin. Jarrett Allen, stud muffin. Kevin Love, I don't really know what's going on with him. He's a weird piece at this point with an oversized contract. His leadership ability will always be there, but he also needs to stay on the floor at the same time. Now we're going to go a little bit more of a deep dive into Jarrett Allen, the Afro stud muffin, coming from Brooklyn, and he has made an absolutely positive impact on this team so far. I have him as a top 80 player in the league, and I think that he has a lot of potential, being only 22 or 23 years old still. But yeah, Allen is a force in the paint, and the Thunder could do absolutely nothing to stop him this game. But in terms of building a young core for this franchise, the discussion starts with Colin Sexton and Jarrett Allen. I think that they got him for pretty much pennies on the dollar in that Nets trade, and they got really lucky because this guy could be a big piece of their future. Now we're going to talk about Darius Garland. Garland is an offensively talented point guard. He's fun to watch with Colin Sexton, and their nickname is Sexland, so how can you hate on them? However, I think that he has limitations on defense that stunts his growth. He's averaging 16 points and 5 assists, but he's also a net negative defensive player. That being said, his advanced defensive stats have improved from his rookie season, and he has progressed, and you'd like to see that progression continue. In this game against Detroit, he had 21 points, and that just shows his offensive ability. But despite the losing streak, Colin Sexton was focused on a must-win game against Atlanta, and he was not disappointed. He was not named an All-Star, and he came through with a 29-point game. When I searched Colin Sexton's name in Google, this happened to come up. People were really asking if Colin Sexton is good. Ha ha ha. Very funny, because Colin Sexton is a stud muffin who's averaging 23 points a game while shooting over 40% from the field. Yes, Colin Sexton is good, and he's averaging 24.8 points a game in his last 6 games, while he got more fan votes than Ben Simmons for the All-Star game and was 10th overall for Eastern Conference guards. And whoever made this, you're very funny, and whoever made this, you're very funny too. Apparently, the referees just do not respect Colin Sexton. But taking a look at this roster again, you have Sexton, you have Allen, you have Kevin Love, you have Larry Nance Jr., who's a solid player. Those first 5 players are very solid. You've got some work to do otherwise. Isaac Okoro is a nice young piece, but they still need to figure out the right role players to put around the key pieces on this team. Okoro has looked more raw offensively than I thought he would originally, but he does have nice defensive potential, and he does show out here and there. As you see, Andre Drummond's on the court. He will not be playing another game in a Cavs uniform, so we're not going to talk about him. But overall, I do like this young Cavs team. I do think they're a year or two away, but they got a centerpiece in Jarrett Allen for pennies on the dollar. They have the young bull Colin Sexton. They have a rapidly progressing Darius Garland. And they also have a nice young potential defensive ace in Isaac Okoro. I say give it a year or two, get another high lottery pick to add to this young core, and in 2022, you could be hearing Cleveland's name a lot.